Please welcome Jason Orellana, Page Builder Magic.
My name is Jason Orellana. I'm a WordPress developer, working in my own agency with my lovely wife Josie. I'm here to talk to you today about using page builders to make beautiful websites. Let's see. Especially my favorite one, Elementor. That's the one that I'm going to be demonstrating. And I'm going to give you some of the pros and cons of using page builders. And despite some of these cons, why I think page builders are still magic. Okay. So I know they already introduced me, but again, I graduated from ITT. I've been doing WordPress since 2016, and I started my business in 2017. That's it in a nutshell. So what is a page builder? A page builder is a tool that facilitates web development by allowing you to grab blocks or elements such as images, headings, paragraphs, lists, and what have you. It lets you grab these blocks and put them more or less wherever you want on a page to form a final website without having to write any code. And that's what I think the main advantage is. You don't have to write any code. So why use a page builder? Because it is easy to use. Because it's easy to use, and also it's highly customizable. You're able to create unique designs without having to code, and it's very efficient. You don't have to keep going back and forth between tabs. You don't have to refresh browsers. You don't have to write code in a separate file. It's very efficient. So in order to show you a little bit. Oh, okay. So the new WordPress editor, right? Gutenberg. It's considered a block editor. So it shares a lot of similarities with page builders, but there's a lot of differences, right? Let me show you. I actually stole some blocks from my kids to show you an example. All right. So if you were to build a website right now, you would typically start with, or you might start with a banner or hero section, and that would usually have maybe a picture and then some text, and then under that you might have maybe a couple of paragraphs, maybe, or a headline and a paragraph. And depending on your theme or your preferences, you might have a sidebar. Both the Gutenberg editor and the page builders allow you to easily add, like say if you wanted to add a 2-column row, for example, like say you had an image and some text that you wanted to put in, that would be very easy to do with a page builder and with Gutenberg. And it's also very easy to rearrange the order of things. So if you wanted to drop one of the paragraphs down, it's very easy to just move them around, right? You just move the blocks around. And if you prefer, you could even move the sidebar to the other side. That wouldn't be too hard. Boy, I think I got the wrong file. So that's kind of where a lot of the similarities end. If you were to look at the Gutenberg editor on the back end, to build that example, the website that I just had, the blocks, you might have the title and the featured image right here on the right hand side, and both of those together would make the banner. And you can see the other elements, the paragraph, the 2-column row. That's my daughter, by the way. And then another row on the bottom. So one of the things you can't see right here is the header. You can't see the header. You can't see the sidebar. And you can't see some of the styling, right? So this is what it might look like on the front end. It looks very, very different than what it looks like on the back end if you were to build this. If you were to use a page builder instead, if I was to scroll down a little bit, you would actually be able to see the header. You can see your blocks that you're working with. Anytime you want to adjust something, you just adjust it on the right hand side. This is an example of Elementor, which is the one that I'm using. And if you were to actually go right here, if you wanted to say, for example, increase the spacing between the blocks, or if you wanted to stagger the blocks, or if you wanted to make one of the blocks round, how would you accomplish this right here, right? Sometimes you have a few options right here. It's a little bit limited, but sometimes you have options here, and you can actually, if you know how to code, you can actually go into the customizer and edit the CSS yourself and make some of these changes yourself. But if you're a beginner and you don't know how to code, or if you're worried about like having a typo in your code, or if you're worried about like forgetting a semicolon or something like that, you know, that happens all the time. You might be better off using a page builder, and this is what it might look like. Like say if you wanted to give an effect to the banner, it's very easy to just click on the banner and do some effects right there on the left hand side. If you want, you can very easily add spacing between the columns without writing any code. You can make the picture round. You can stagger the columns, make them overlap. You can add styling. When I first started, or actually before I started using WordPress, I actually I almost didn't want to use WordPress because a lot of the sites that I saw that were built using WordPress, they looked very cookie cutter to me. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted to build unique websites, sites that would impress people, right? And I think this is a tool that really facilitates that. It makes it easy to create like a round picture. You know, that a round block makes it's not a big deal. It's not hard to code, but if you can do it easier, I mean that's it's efficiency, right? Okay, so I'm going to go into some examples of how to use a page builder in a little bit, but first I want to go through some of the pros and cons of using it, starting with the biggest pros and cons, right? Oh man! All right, so the right design can really help you accomplish a goal, right? You can lead customers to where you want them to. You can engage your customers with a good design, and page builders can help you do that, right? And if you have customers that are engaged, that stay on your page longer, then it can positively affect your SEO, right? On the other hand, the main negative part about using page builders is that they add weight to your page. It's a bigger file that has to be downloaded, which is not, if you're on a desktop and you have a good connection, it's not a problem, right, usually. But if you're on a mobile phone or you have a bad connection, you can have a higher bounce rate, and that can affect SEO, right? Okay, so theme integration. According to the page builders, they claim that they work with any theme, but in reality, sometimes Sometimes there's PHP errors. Sometimes you have layout issues where the margins are off. And sometimes you have loading issues. Sometimes pages don't load correctly. And if you go to Google and you ask Google like what works best, what themes work best with page builders, you can get many good answers. I use Astra myself, but I've also used Ocean WP and Generate Press, and those are good themes to use with page builders. Let's see, customer handoff. Sometimes you might have a customer that wants to be able to edit their own work, and the advantage to a page builder sometimes is that they're easy to use. So if your customer wanted to learn how to use a page builder and wanted to edit it themselves, it would be very easy to do. There's a lot of YouTube videos online that you can find, and it'll help your customer. But on the other side, if you're handing off to your customer, they might they might end up using Comic Sans fonts, and you might have all the spacing thrown off. So a few months down the road, after you hand it off, you might not even recognize that as your own work if you're handing off. So I really would recommend, if you're handing off to the customer that wants to edit their own work, that you use a Gutenberg editor instead, and try to not have too many options for customers, right? Design. Page builders can help you design in the browser. So because you can see your changes live, and because you can manipulate it, and you can position things wherever you want, you can design in the browser instead of having to sometimes use like Photoshop or other tools that might help you with design. You can see your changes live. You can see what they would look like on desktop, tablet, and mobile views with a push of a button. It's very easy. So you don't always need a designer. You can download templates if you wanna quick start. You can always download a template online and just change the image and the words. It's very easy to do. Or if you've already created a web page that you like on another site, you can actually download the template and use it on that site or on other sites as well. But designers, they're there for a reason. They can make your product better. They can help you with product engagement. So it's actually good to have someone who knows what they're doing sometimes. Yeah. And same thing with development. You don't need to know how to code to use a page builder. That's one of the main advantages of it. You don't have to code CSS. You don't have the errors like I said, if you forget semicolons or something. That's also a disadvantage, that you don't need to know how to code. If you're going to be building websites for a living, you should eventually learn how to code. And your friendly neighborhood web developer needs to eat, so don't cut them out. The timing is not right in the slides, but you get it. Competition. There's a lot of competition between the page builders. There's Elementor, Divi, Beaver Builder, Visual Composer. I'm using Elementor, but these are other great options, and there's more. I think there's Thrive or something like that. And they're constantly competing with each other, and because they want you to use them. So they give you a lot of features. They give you they constantly keep adding features, but which can be a disadvantage because there's almost daily updates sometimes, and sometimes when the customers have too many options, or when a designer or a developer has too many options, sometimes they tend to use it or overuse it, and you want to keep things simple sometimes. All right. My next slide. Okay. So when you're using page builders, you can have you can make beautiful designs, right? And you can impress. It's a good among your peers, other designers, developers. You can impress them by your product, right? The way it looks, it's a beautiful page. But like for example, I was at a meetup recently, and one developer said to another developer that he used a page builder to make a website, and the other developer said that he felt that if you use a page builder, you are not a real developer, right? So yeah, I mean, you're really not going to satisfy everybody, and if you have a tool that's going to make you more efficient, you shouldn't be worried too much about what other people are saying. All right, so so using a page builder it's kind of a balancing act, right? You want to whether you should or not is a balancing act. On the one hand, you want a good design. On the one hand, you want a good design, and you want to be able to add flair, right? You want to be able to add flair, and you can sometimes add too much flair, right? And it comes off as tacky. So it's easy to use. It's highly customizable, so you can do a lot of things, but you want to keep the flair under control. On the other hand, there's performance, right? I hope there's no San Antonio Spurs fans in here, but I find the San Antonio Spurs the most boring team, right? They're extremely boring, but they're effective. They constantly win. I don't know why they didn't show. Easy to use performance, right? They're effective. They're in 1998, the highest rated NBA Finals was the Chicago Bulls versus the Utah Jazz, right? They had 29 million viewers. The San Antonio Spurs in 2007, they played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they had 9 million viewers. That's a 20 million viewer difference, right? So even though they're winning, they're a good team. They might not be the best as far as if you're running a business, right? If you're running a business, you want to make money, and that would be the ultimate goal. And you're not doing it with this, even though you're winning, right? So it's kind of there's a balance between having flair and having speed. So I'm gonna show you guys some basics on how to use a page builder in case you're new to this. But here's some links that I had. I'm gonna share some of these links, and I'm actually missing a link here, but this one in particular talks about page speed, and they recommend you not use page builders because of the speed, but there's certain things you can do, and I still recommend it because it's an efficiency tool, right? I'm gonna save the questions for later. I actually uploaded the wrong slide, so I don't have all my slides here. But let me go into an example of how to use a page builder, Elementor. Okay. Connect. Uh-oh. Sorry, I had this ready. I don't know why I disconnected. All right. So if you here's your WordPress dashboard. If you wanted to. Oh, okay. Mirror, duplicate. Okay. All right. So here's your WordPress dashboard. If you wanted to download the page builder, you could go to plugins. let me put this down. Page. You guys can hear me, right? No. Okay. Page builder. So okay. Add new. Whew. Sorry. You can go to page builder. All right, so the first one that comes up is Elementor. I've already installed it, but if you hadn't installed it, you would just install right here. You install and then activate. So I'm going to activate it right now.
Is Elementor free to use?
Yeah, Elementor is free to use. Yeah, so most of these are free to use. They do have pro options, but you can start with the free, and that's an excellent choice. It's you can't go wrong with using free. And there's actually a lot of supplemental plugins that can actually help you do a lot of things that some of the pro versions do. So you don't actually, for the most part, you don't need to use the pro versions if you use other plugins. So once it's installed, you can actually. Oh, I forgot. What I wanted to do was actually duplicate another site. Marvel. And I had this up, but I don't know why it disappeared on me. Oops. What I wanted to do is actually duplicate a site, because you want to see what it could do, and we want to just make something that looks good, right? So I would go to new page. I'm going to try to build this as fast as possible. There are a few other plugins that I can use to hopefully extend Elementor. So you can start with a title. I'll call this example. I think I already have other examples here, so I'll go with example 4. And just hit publish. Publish. And then it has an option right there to edit with Elementor right up here. And then it'll take you to another screen where you can actually see the editor. So you can see the header, and you can see the footer right here. So you can actually see what it'll look like in the end. You don't have to guess what the whole thing would look like together. If you wanted to add a section, you could just add this. Click this plus symbol right here. We'll start with one column. These are different column sizes, right? So you could go with 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, and so on and so forth. I'm going to use a 1 column right now. And up here where these squares are, that's where you can add, like, say, for example, a heading. If we go back to here, you can see this has text, then a heading, and then more text. So we're gonna go text, heading, more text, Bruce Banner. Let's see. You can edit either right there in the editor, or you can edit right here on the left hand side. Whichever is easier for you. Sometimes whatever your preferences are. Oops. I'm going to copy this text. And while it's doing that, I'm gonna. So when you want to style it, you could just go right here. Actually, since this is the title, I would usually put H1 right here, and you could style it right here. You can make it. You could change the color real easily. I'm gonna make this white because there's a background picture that I'm gonna add right now, and. Typography, I'm gonna change the size, make it big, and I already uploaded some pictures, so this section right up here controls the whole row, right? There's, if you wanted to control the column, this is the column right there. To edit the column. If you wanted to control the section, you can click on the section itself, the little whatever your block is, right there. But right here, I want to add an image to the background of the whole row. So I could go to Style, Background, Type, Image. Oh boy. Media library. No item sound. Oh, shoot. I'm actually using the wrong. I'm sorry, guys. Let me. Let me do this real fast. I'm sorry, guys. When the internet went down, somehow it closed my page, and sorry. I think I already got this down real fast anyway. So if you go to plugins, activate. I had also downloaded a few other plugins, essential add-ons for Elementor. I'm going to activate that one while I'm here. That has many features that can extend the functionality. And oh, kick me out. Let me create a new page. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
Yeah. Example 4. Publish. Edit with Elementor. So I'll go through some of these stuff that I just did real fast. Yeah, there you go. That's a better example because it has the header and the footer that I already styled. I styled the header using the theme, and I got it as close as I could to the Hulk example. Okay. So section. I'm gonna put this image in right away. So right there, you could just choose your image, insert media. You have the position you have all kinds of options right here on how you want it to look. I want it in the center. You can kind of do a parallax effect if you push fixed. I don't want that right now because they don't have that, but it's a nice feature. Repeat, no repeat. Size, cover. And I'm gonna add a minimum height to this. I don't know why by default it usually has gaps, and I usually like to take off the gaps. Let's see, minimum height. I'm gonna do 45 VH. Let's see. Add a title. So to style it, let's see, we're gonna make this white. It's very easy to change the font size. Go to typography. Let's go 1.3. And one of the nice things you can do when you have you've already styled one div, you can actually copy it, right click it and copy, and then you can go on the next one and just paste style, and then you can see it's already styled. I'm actually gonna add some. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's see. I copied it. Right, I right clicked to this one right here because I already made the text white. I copied it, and then I highlighted the other paragraph, and right clicked it, and where it says paste style, I just pasted the style. And it's very easy to be consistent with all your, like say if you had a bunch of paragraphs, you can very easily apply the same style to all your paragraphs. Let's see, style, text color, white. I'm gonna add some margin to this on the bottom. So this right here unlinks it, so you could have different margins for different sides. Top, right, bottom, 30. All right, and if you notice this one right here, this text right here only goes like halfway through the screen. It doesn't go the whole length. So I can easily change that. Oops, close this. I can easily change this. I click right here, custom positioning. I could change the width and custom width, and I could actually choose percentage and put like 50%. So now it only goes to 50%. Did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and add another row. This time I'm gonna add a 2-column row. And right here, I'm gonna search for a navigation menu, and I'm gonna insert that. And right here you can. I already set up this menu in the customizer in the theme, so you could actually just from the drop down choose your menu. And like I said previously, sometimes you need to know how to code a little bit, just because there's certain limitations to even page builders. So I had already added some code in here. So if you already have, if you want to add custom code, you could still put it in the customizer, and then just add your classes here. I'm gonna add a class character, and you can see it's already styled. In this example, this is kind of up here over the banner, so I'm going to give this a negative margin to move it up. Oops. Negative. $70. And right here I'm going to add see there's a lot of tools that you can use. So I could just type in social, and you can see I have social icons that are already pre-made. I did read somewhere that one of the problems with page builders sometimes is that they download other stuff. So sometimes when they download the, like say Font Awesome and other stuff, it adds a lot of extra weight to the page builders. So I don't know if there's a way around it if you definitely need the icons, but it saves time to use this tools. Let's see, I don't want that one, and I don't want the official color. I want custom color, and I'll make this white, and this one light gray. By the way, here's another neat thing. Right here in the hamburger menu up there on the top right, you can actually choose the color picker. You can choose colors. Like say if I wanted a red, I could go with, oops. I could FF RGB 0000, right? Right. And I could apply. And now every time I want to change colors, I can. It appears right there in my menu. So this is going to be for my whole screen. So I could save my colors for the whole web page. I'm not going to use red, but I'm going to use let's say one of these. And it works great for positioning. I could position it to the right, and I'm going to give this one a negative margin as well. Negative 50. Negative 40. One thing I did forget to add on the banner, if you see, oops. Okay, come on, go away. Well, I don't know if you could see it, but yeah, this is tilted right here. This is right here. This is lower than up here. That might be a little bit hard to do. If I actually did it on just using the Gutenberg editor, and I had to use clip path. But when you do it right here on Elementor, it actually inserts I believe it's a SVG file, which is SVG I think is pretty performant. Let's see, so I can go right here and I could choose style and a shape divider, and I could put it either on the top or the bottom. And right here I'm going to choose tilt. You can see it has a big tilt right there. I'm going to flip it, and then I could make this not so high, maybe 40. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to increase the padding on this. update. And see this button right here. You can actually, although you can see what it looks like right here. It doesn't take up the full width, so you can either, if you wanted to see what it looks like, you can either click here, or you can actually load it on its own, right there, to see the example. And the advantage of this is that every time you hit update right here, this one automatically reloads. So it's looking pretty close.
So what was padding doing to your image?
So what I did is I added padding so that I can increase this space right here, and I increased this space right here. So so it looked a little bit better.
Padding on the text blocks?
On the text blocks, no, but the paragraph blocks already come with padding on the bottom. I think that's part of the theme actually. So yeah, they already come with padding on the bottom. So let's all right. Now I'm gonna build. I'm not gonna put in the ad. I'm gonna put in this section right here. So now we can add a 2-column row. Another 2-column row, and I'm gonna add an image. It's right there. And again, for some reason, these sections, the rows come with a extra gap, and I don't like those gaps.
What theme are you using right now?
I'm using the Astro theme. Astro claims to be very lightweight. I think they said something like 50 kilobytes or something like that. It's pretty lightweight, and I think it's used often with Elementor. Let's see. So you can choose your image right here on the left-hand side. And let's see. Hulk Bruce banner. I'm going to add a heading. And so we want to center it in vertically, right? So I would go to the column, and then right here, a vertical line, I can choose middle. Choose middle. And all right, let's see. I could actually copy this style. Copy, paste style. Oops, but this is black text. Let's go with that one. And it's I'm gonna leave this just for time's sake. I'm just gonna leave that there. And now this section is kind of tricky. The post, when I've already created posts in the using the editor. But if you wanted to import those posts, you can add recent posts, which is this is what Elementor comes with by default, but it doesn't have pictures or anything, no images. So I really don't want that. I actually had to download a different I downloaded a different plugin called Essential Add-ons for Elementor, and that one comes with PostGrid. So you can see the posts are already there, and I wanna get through this really fast because I wanna do the speed test. And this comes with its own options. Let's see. Color, background, border, background. Shoot. Come on. Where did it go? Background, typography. Okay, that was in the wrong section. Oh, I don't want my picture there. So you can. It's very easy to customize it. I don't want the excerpt, and I don't want the meta. And title. I'm gonna make this white. Title, post grid style, post background color. Yeah, I'm gonna make that dark match. All right, so now it kind of matches. It closely matches this website, right? Except for the ads, and you can see this part right here. This is theirs. I could add a title here as well, but what I kind of wanted to show. JSON.emphasis.la. So I built this. I had already built the same website. I built it using just a Gutenberg editor, and I had to install a Gutenberg block plugin to make the bottom part right here. So it looks pretty similar as well. What I wanted to do was go to Pingdom and do a performance test on this. So this is the one that I just built, right? And it is missing the headline right here, the latest news. I already actually built example 2 right here. So it looks the same, right? So what I want to do is shoot. What is website performance speed test? Five minutes, okay.
You could do GT metrics if you wanted to.
GT metrics.
I mean, TRIC.
It's not that one. So and so this one is just using Gutenberg, and this one is just using this one is using the Elementor plugin. Oh shoot! Well, damn it. I'm not sure I'm going to have time, but anyway, I did these speed tests, right? Already on Pingdom and on Google Insights. So you can see this is using just a Gutenberg. It gets a C71, and this is the one using the page builder. So it gets an A and a D. I'm not sure how that works.
What are the two metrics you're measuring?
There's a lot of metrics.
Page, yeah.
Fully loaded time 1.6 versus 2.2 versus the amount of money and time you spend coding something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I'm not saying it's inconsequential, but it is one of those things to
yeah.
consider in the course if prototyping or rapid prototyping is part of that.
Greg's a smart guy. So, yeah.
If you're looking at the performance test, what would you focus on? The A and the D, for example, in that example? Or?
I think more the page, the loaded page time, probably. And
The difference in total page size with the other one.
I don't know why it's smaller, this one. Pretty much, what I got in the past results was using just Gutenberg is better. It's faster, but it takes a lot longer to code. But it's very, we're talking about like a half a second, right? Half a second usually. Using Page Builder is a bigger file, and it's about half a second slower. If you optimize it, if you use a plugin, I was going to show you, but I ran out of time. If you install an optimization plugin, you can actually make that better and make it almost equal to the Gutenberg, or sometimes even better. But so it's something you have to consider, right? Performance and value, pretty much. Efficiency, how much time you're going to spend on it. I built this in 15 minutes, so it took me a lot longer to build the other one using Gutenberg, just the Gutenberg editor. But if you were building a website where you were selling things, you might want to consider speed a lot, because you might have bounce rates, people getting tired of your page loading, but if you're not selling products, maybe it doesn't matter as much. And I actually did I did a speed test on this page right here, and this one it got a really low speed test. Of course, they're running ads as well, so that might affect it. But it got lower than both of my examples. So that's just FYI. The question?
Optimizers that you're using, what are
Well, I hadn't used Gmetrics before, but I used Pingdom, and I used Ping.
plugins? You said-
Auto optimization.
Sorry, you had to read my mind.
Yeah. Let's see. I used and in my slides I'm going to have one more recommendation, but yeah, there's actually some auto optimize is what I used. Yeah.
So I think we have to wrap it.
Yes.
So we'll open it up for questions. And we have
Yes.
a microphone here if you need.
Well, what code do you use if you want to learn how to program in WordPress?
What code do I use?
HTML, or what code is it?
HTML is for anybody on the web, right? The HTML is just pretty much just the info. CSS is the style, and JavaScript is functionality. So it's kind of a combination, but you obviously you have to start with HTML because that's the foundation. CSS is the style. CSS is what makes it look good, and
3 languages you got.
yeah, JavaScript not as much, but
Jason,
yes.
HTML, PHP, CSS.
Oh yes,
Probably
for WordPress, PHP, yes.
PHP and JavaScript are now kind of going hand in hand as WordPress transitions more to JavaScript-based stuff. But I would recommend you start with HTML, PHP, and PHP generates HTML. That's its job. So HTML to kind of get your feet wet, PHP to kind of take the next steps, JavaScript, etc.
I think I had a question back there.
Yeah, so you spent a good deal of time working on that page design in Elementor. Are you able to convert it to a template so that you can reuse the design for another page for another super?
Yes, and it's very simple to do that. You just go right here to the bottom and save as template and give it a name. My template. Save. And I was actually gonna, if I had time, I was gonna fix the header, because the header, I wanted to make it look closer to this example. But that's something you can do. Export a template and use it on other websites or on the rest of the pages. But yeah, that's just hit save, and then you could download right here, export.
Can you use WordPress on other platforms other than WordPress platforms?
WordPress is its own program. I think it's built on PHP, and you can use PHP on other platforms. There's competitors to WordPress, but
A server infrastructure, like other than Unix, or are you thinking WordPress and other platforms like
No, he's asking
WordPress?
a real basic question.
So are,
You may want to take one of us aside and sit in a chair outside, and we'll explain the difference of the components.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry. You're next.
How would you, how easy is it to see what that what that page would look like in a mobile?
Oh yes, I completely forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. It's very easy to do, and you just go right here to this button down here, and you can see tablet or mobile. And yeah, you can see there's a lot of things I need to change. Like I can make this like the full width instead, and then when you go back here, it's still you can make customizations strictly for the mobile and strictly for tablet.
And can you change the width of, I know when you see that, when you select the different views, desktop, tablet, and mobile,
Yes.
it shows a preview of a width and pixels there. Can you change that definition?
So you can go 100. Actually, this is pixels, 100%. You could use viewport width, pixels, or percentage, and you could change.
All right, well, we got time for one more question.
I downloaded a theme from my website, and it seems that it came with its own builder called Nimble Builder. So if I wanted to use a different page builder, even though I've incorporated that theme, is that possible to add a plugin?
According to the page builders, they claim that they can work with any theme. So the short answer is yes, it'll work. But there's sometimes there's PHP errors, sometimes there's loading issues and stuff. So the short answer is yes, but it depends. I'm not familiar with that theme. Yes.
All right, well, let's give them a hand.
Thank you guys.